Welcome to Xbox Uncut's episode 298. This week, joining me on this amazing podcast, I have the wonderful Steph. Welcome to the show, Steph.
Yo, what up?
How are you doing today,
All
sir?
I'm good, man. I just want to say all hail the Zah, the mighty Lord, and timely Zah.
Yes. Yes, sir. But we also have Will on this week. I believe he is in the process of running towards his oven as we started the show
Yes,
to
it's
get
Zah.
that pizza.
Yeah, it still needs a bit more time, but yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's gonna be another good week. We got a good news this week, a lot of interesting stuff too. So
Yeah, it was
should be fun.
surprisingly a big week. Like I
Yeah.
honestly, I was like, man, this is gonna be okay. It's kind of be just one of them dull weeks, whatever. Like it's still gonna be fun. But Phil Spencer was just like, hey, what can you expect from the next generation of gaming? What should you be there to see? What's gonna happen? Like maybe like 12 teraflops. You know, like let's just go ahead and say it. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see that they kind of just rolled out and just had big news right off the bat. It was really cool. I'm stoked. Vanity Line wanted to say one more pod to the 300th podcast, and Dustin will be on vacation. Well, actually, it's two more. This is 298. So next week, we got to figure out if do y'all. I don't. I'm not going to put y'all on the spot. We're going to figure out if we're going to do a show next week or not. Well,
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to do a show. Well, no. I will be able to do next week, right? I don't know. I'm so confused. Yes, I'll be doing a show next week. And then the 300th episode, I will. Yeah, you're right, Infinity Line. Shit, I'll be gone for number 300. If y'all do a show without me. I'm not sure yet.
No,
We're going to.
we're not gonna do a 300 episode without you. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I know. Be on
I know it's
vacation.
pretty
Look,
crazy.
when I'm going to be in the Bahamas, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I can't wait. We might have to do something for that. Well, no, I want to do like a real podcast too. I don't want to just do like something we do like in between.
Yeah. They made sure they haven't restricted travel for anything like that. I know because of all the coronavirus stuff, so you gotta be
For
careful.
right now, not for me. We're still good for our cruise. Yeah,
Okay.
still good. Fingers crossed. Too much money
Gotcha.
spent so far. I need that money to take me to the Bahamas.
What would
What's up, Steph?
if you didn't get to go? Would they just give you a refund?
Well, like because I'm going through Carnival, I would imagine if Carnival has to cancel the cruise, they would just refund me my money. Yes.
Yeah. They'd have to tell you definitely way in advance too, or like
Yeah.
at least a week or two.
But like I don't even know if they have to wait a week or two. Like I could see like driving down to South Carolina and then being like, "Yo, no trip. Goodbye. We're shutting down." But I don't imagine Carnival will. But
Yeah.
there's a possibility. All right. Not to get into, virus talk. Let's I don't even know where to go here from here. Oh man. But yeah, we'll figure out. Yeah, we're probably just not gonna do a podcast that week. I'll be back on what would that be? Man, I'm looking at the calendar. Let's see. The 11th. No, I'm gonna be gone. So we'll do a podcast next week. That would be the 4th. The 11th would have been the 300th episode. I'll be on an island in the Bahamas on that day, and then because that's a port day. And then on the 18th, we will definitely have a 300th episode. Should be fun. And we'll have plenty of news to talk about because we'll have been off a week. We'll have like 2 weeks worth of news. It's gonna be great. And I might do like a book because I plan on reading a couple books on my trip. I'm excited. I bought me a little Kindle Paperwhite to take with me on the trip, so I'm stoked.
What
All right.
What are you gonna read?
The Outsider. I actually picked up the book for that. I think I'm gonna actually read through Game of Thrones. Like read it. Yeah. I know Bran has the best story or whatever. Fuck that show. But the books, I'm committed to the books. I'm gonna read the books. But yeah, I'm loving the Paperwhite so far. It's like really cool. It's nice. It's light, as you would imagine. The battery life's crazy to it. It's nice to have that backlight and everything. But I'm excited to excited to go on the cruise because I heard like cause most of the cruise is just standing in line for things, and it's just nice to be able to pop that thing out and just keep reading your book as you're waiting in line. So I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm told I'm gonna do. It's gonna be fucking great. I'm gonna be the nerdiest person on the boat. I only wish there was a way I could use xCloud without spending $1 million on data packages.
Yeah, that'd be something. They don't have. Well, I'm guessing they don't have Wi-Fi, right? Do you like
You can buy Wi-Fi packages, but everything I've read is they're extremely slow. And honestly, I'm kind of digging the idea of going off the grid, like completely, and then just enjoying book. I don't mind a Paperwhite because it's books. I mean, yes, it's in a digital format, but I'm not seeing the internet. I'm not seeing anything other than the Paperwhite.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I don't know about that though.
I don't consider that being on the grid. I'll put it that way.
I gotta have my nets.
But I did watch a lot of Funimation yesterday, so we'll talk about that later in the podcast.
All right, cool.
Let's see. Let's talk about this article that came out called "What You Can Expect from the Next Generation of Gaming" by Phil Spencer, head of Xbox. Let's just go over the infographic real quick. It says the new Xbox Series X, 12 teraflops, variable rate shading, hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing, quick resume for multiple games, and smart delivery. So what do y'all want to hit on first? What are y'all excited about? What was the coolest thing that y'all heard?
Let's go ahead and knock out this 12 teraflop shit. I was surprised that's where it started. That's crazy.
Yeah, 12 teraflops, and it's RDNA 2. So it's technology that it hasn't even come out on PC yet. So they are going full on in. Let's make sure the shit's fucking powerful. It's future proof. We're not using technology from 2 years ago. Like let's make a monster. This is like, it reminds me a lot of the 360 before it came out, because it was using technology that wasn't out yet on PC.
Yeah, I've seen people say the same.
Yeah.
I mean, that is pretty powerful, 12. I mean, it's quite beefy. I like that it's kind of like going back to its kind of roots as like a super powerful Xbox machine. I know the first Xbox, the OG one, was more powerful than the GameCube and PS2. PS2. So that's going to be kind of a bit of a return to form in some ways. I just wonder how the logo intro is going to look. They always change that.
Yeah, but I think, you know what? To make it look really cool, what they should have it do is it should just like peel off your screen essentially, and it's just loaded. Because of it being a super fast hard drive, there's no reason to have insanely long load times.
Yeah, that's true.
Like even for loading up, booting the OS, like it's going to be fairly short when it comes to loading. But yeah, like the SSD is going to be a big part, like for both PlayStation and Xbox going into the next generation.
Hopefully that's the case. Because the One X takes like forever to boot up if you're just cold booting it and you're not doing it on if you put it on energy saving, it takes like a minute or two to.
Yeah. Well, it's about. I mean, have you just out of curiosity, have you loaded up a PC with the mechanical hard drive lately? Even like Windows.
Oh yeah,
it takes a minute.
It fucking sucks.
Yeah, but SSD speeds it right up to like the minimal. So I imagine, for both these consoles, because PlayStation X, it's just, I hate mechanical hard drives now, except for storage. You need
Yeah.
mechanical hard drives are still the way to go if you need like 20 terabytes of storage. But other than that, like,
what are you using your PC now?
my computer, I have. Well, for like, I have a couple I have 4 NAS hard drives, mechanical, for my server, and then I have a 500 gigabyte SSD for my OS drive.
That's just 500.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I got it too.
But I did that because it's. Yeah, I want it because I run a big media server, and I wanted it to be able to kind of handle any, like, cover art and everything else, because I got thousands of media files. Like, I just wanted to be able to handle any of that information quickly and have plenty of storage going forward. Because I'm probably in the next year going to buy another 20 terabytes of storage on top of what I have.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't need that much space, man.
Yes, I do. No, because right now I'm using probably 19 terabytes of storage and media, and I want to be able to have a nice backup of that as well, and that's going to require double that. So not only do I need to expand, I need to double it just to have a better backup.
That's what killed my fucking memory of my PC, like my backup of my computer.
Yep.
And then I lost everything anyway. Still.
Yeah.
Somehow I don't even know. I think it got corrupted. My hard drive got corrupted or something.
So I wonder with the SSD, the wear and tear isn't as bad as mechanical, right? It's just like
it should work. So what SSD does really well, and one day hopefully SSDs will be cheaper than mechanicals, because that'll be amazing for storage, like for media, because
their price is coming down a lot.
They are. They're getting really good, but when they do, the SSDs actually, when it comes to reading, you get more reads out of SSDs than you do mechanicals. And they do it really quickly. It doesn't hurt. Yeah. It doesn't degrade as fast. Like, it's just a really good solution. But, like, they were talking about, like, Netflix and Amazon, like, they're switching all their stuff to SSDs because it's reads. It's not really, they're not writing data for the most part. It's just them reading the data and sending it to customers.
It's also safer, too, for your computer, too.
Yeah. But when it comes to writes, the technology's still to the point where writes do hurt SSDs more than they do, like, mechanicals. That's where the wear and tear comes down, when it has to rewrite over and over and over. So if you're doing, like, media, like, SSDs are amazing. It's just the storage solution isn't there yet. But if you're doing... We're transitioning to the point where it is becoming theoretical to, build a media server that's just SSDs.
Oh, interesting. So you
think I think probably in the next 10 years, 10, 15 years, like, I think you'll see mechanical hard drives go away.
So you think there'll be an issue with, let's say, like, uploading your Xbox Live clips and stuff onto your SSD and stuff like that?
No, I mean, like, SSDs have gotten a lot better, but I imagine they're still going to offer the option to hook up an external drive to your Xbox, like you are now, just for like capture, like if you want to capture, because with the One X, you're able to actually capture, I believe, 4K 60 directly from the system, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
but
it takes up a lot of space. Yeah, but it's definitely a good feature for like capturing.
But like I said, you can use that. Well, you hook up an external specifically for that, because when you record, and I'm talking about high bitrate, like if you record and then like upload from the Xbox, you don't get the high bitrate version. If you hook up the external and you actually go into the settings and hook it up for specifically media, it will give you like Elgato grade high quality recordings of what you're doing. Like, nice. It's just, you have to have that external hooked up, and there's more to it than I'm kind of putting it, but you can still do it. And let's say you just wanted to build like a YouTube channel and you're not trying to live stream and you're just trying to record clips for you to do later.
Mm-hmm.
It is a solid solution to capture video off the system.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so that at least we got that. The T-flops out the way.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, teraflops.
Yeah.
All them teraflops. All right.
Yeah, I'm excited about the backwards compatibility, what it does to like the current gen games though. So that's gonna be interesting. I mean, they haven't really mentioned if it enhances them the way they do with the 360 games and the OG Xbox One games. I'm guessing they're just gonna like cap out the resolution and the frame rate, unless they do have some new way of doing the. I mean, I know we mentioned like it was like some sort of new method that they were discovering to enhance like the textures and stuff like that.
yeah.
But I'm not sure. We'll see if that.
I think you'll actually see Xbox One games get bigger boot. Like, let's say, and I mean, of course, this is all speculation, but like Sunset Overdrive being 4K, like that kind of enhancement. Because they have been talking about, like, if you read it, like they're specifically going, yeah, like Xbox One games will be enhanced, like not just like, oh, it had an open frame rate, because they're saying like developers don't have to do anything, and specifically, these games have been set up so that next generation, more hardware can just push them better, because like Monster Hunter is going to run at 4K 60 essentially, because there's an unlocked mode for it, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's what has me kind of raising my eyebrow when they said like enhanced Xbox. Like if all the 900p games get up to like 1800 or something like that, that'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Sunset Overdrive would look gorgeous at like almost 4K. Like that, like you said, at 1800.
Yeah, plus like Shadow of Mordor. What else? Dark Souls. I mean, that'd be a crazy good enhancement. Like, and assuming you haven't beaten these games yet, because I know there are people who've like gone through their libraries, but I mean, especially it'll be interesting if the publishers will try to combat this with 4K remasters. Like I know early gen stuff from this gen wasn't 4K, so they still have the capability to just like 4K those suckers and try to resell them. So it might clash against Xbox's more consumer friendly like approach to backwards compatibility. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and I'm also interested to see how this AI texture, because it's supposed to do it on the fly. So, like, could you take some of these indie games that don't have the best texture work, but you just apply this AI texture? What would you call it? Upreser?
Yeah, something like that.
It would build it for you, give you an awesome texture.
But doesn't that require like cloud computing at this point? Like,
no, it's the tech is supposed to be all in the system. It's all done in real time, without being off site.
Interesting.
So, like, I guess you could take. What game would be perfect for it right off the bat with the texture packs would be Minecraft. Because you're taking 64-bit by 64 by 64, or even 32 by 32 textures and just up-resing them. And yeah, it'd be cool to see how that would handle like this AI up-res.
Yeah, that'd be a perfect like kind of case study for that type of technology. And you're not really losing much because it's kind of I mean, people are just gonna play the game anyway. So
yeah. All right. They also talked about variable rate shading, VRS, and what that essentially is doing is, let's say your character's looking down a scope in a gun. We're just going to use a simple example. You only need to really put the shade, like high quality shaders, on the lens of the scope where you're looking. Like the motion blurred things around you don't need like super high quality shaders, like programming them. So that releases resources for the GPU to put more into what you're actually looking at, and not like at something that's motion blurred out, because you just don't need the shader to look great. I guess the simplest way to explain it is like that.
Yeah, I've seen examples of that. I think there was an indie game that showed it off, or I've seen it somewhere. where like it's a side-scrolling game, and like as you go across the screen, it kind of loses the detail further. Like the further you go, like forwards, I
You
guess.
talking about what is it? Between the garden.
I don't know if it was that
The,
one. Maybe.
yeah, I was playing that earlier today. I think that's what it's called. It's like time travel, or not
Hmm.
time travel, but yeah. It's like between two gardens, or between a garden, or some shit like that.
Yeah, it could have been that one. Not 100%, but I know it's a side-scrolling game, and they were kind of just showing like some of the examples. I don't know, maybe it's a Digital Foundry or something, showing some examples of variable rate shading. Sorry, I had to cough. Um, but yeah, I mean that's an interesting technology. I don't know, like hopefully it doesn't like backfire, so it doesn't look like weird. But yeah, that's definitely whatever gets you better performance is, always a good thing.
All right,
I
we
mean,
also.
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to keep running down the list. We also have hardware accelerated DirectX ray tracing. So yeah, ray tracing is without a doubt going to be a huge thing next gen for both Sony and Microsoft. They're both touting it and pushing it. I forgot there was some developer that said like, yeah, we're dropping our old lighting engine and it's just going to, at this point, ray tracing.
Mhm.
It's just what it's going to be. So yeah, it looks like these consoles are really going to push PC hardware like forward because Xbox One and PS4 really didn't. Like it was just like, yeah, these are better than what you had, but they're not. They're kind of whatever.
Yeah, I do wonder what the extent of the ray tracing is. I don't know if it's going to be like different levels to it, like low, mid, and high level ray tracing, or if it's going to be like straight up um, implementation of ray tracing like that.
I don't. I don't say I don't think they're gonna let you choose that much.
Yeah,
You
I
know
mean
how like kind of
the
like how they have it
developer's gonna
now.
just pop it down to
Yeah.
what's best for the platform.
No, yeah. I mean, like for developers, if they're gonna choose like what type of ray tracing they're gonna implement, because they may be more
Oh, it's game on
taxing.
game
Right. Yeah.
basis.
I'm sure they'll implement something to where like kind of like how this shading is, to where
Yeah.
you only get what you see basically. They're not going to shade everything in the world and waste unused
Hmm.
resources. I'd imagine that the ray tracing will be something similar to that. They'll figure something out.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to like merge a bunch of the articles because they're all linked to this article.
Oh, okay. Well, we can move on to the next thing.
Well, the thing is like I kind of want to hit on it because they're comparing the on raw numbers. This is comparable to an RTX 2080 Super. It's stronger than that in raw numbers. So like you're not going to really have an issue with ray tracing. Early ray tracing games, they weren't optimized, and the longer people have been ray tracing, the better these games have been getting. Like if you look at like Control like with its ray tracing is amazing, and it's just getting better and better, and using less and less hardware.
You think the control is gonna get like an update on the new systems for like
I hope
SF?
so. I really do. I think it'd be awesome if they do.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
cool.
Infinity Line also said, but what about that audio ray tracing, which is also part of ray tracing? Yeah, like being able to accurately reflect sounds off surfaces and make sure that it actually sounds correct. But they already have positional audio, like with what is it, Dolby Atmos. But this is going to help with like, okay, this sound hits this surface, it should muffle it in this way, and then it bounces and hits this surface and muffles it that way. And so we should be getting a much better version of audio, like because it can actually see what materials it's hitting, how it should echo properly. Not, and of course, Dolby Atmos will still be there, and it will still give you that. How do you say that upgraded positioning? That way, it sounds right in your audio system. But I'm excited for the technology. It'll be really cool. Okay, so we have immersion in an instant. SSD storage, we've gone over that. Quick Resume. The new Quick Resume feature will let you continue multiple games from a suspended state almost instantly, returning you to where you were and what you were doing without waiting for long loading screens. So this is going to be awesome when it's like, oh, I'm playing, let's say, Cyberpunk 2077. And Will's like, hey, let's play some Apex. And it instantly loads up Apex. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck this game. I've never been a fan of Apex. I don't know how you dragged me into this, Will. I don't know how you did it. I'm going to go play Sea of Thieves. And then I just load up Sea of Thieves instead. And it all is, ready to go. And I don't have to sit there and look at, a loading screen for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I was listening to Major Nelson's podcast, and he mentioned that he was, doing exactly what you're talking about, right? And he had to get like an update, like a system update. And he updated his whole Xbox. And after the update was done, came back, his game survived the whole like cold startup and shut down and everything.
It's
which is
fucking
insane.
Great. It's what we want.
That's great.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, it's just being able to have everything on a hard drive, like an SSD, is going to change the game on how things load up.
It's a nice feature, but I don't know how much I'll use it because
all the time, sir.
I don't like using it.
You won't realize that you're using it.
I mean, I do use it now, but it's like I don't like to leave it too long suspended because then like I don't know if it'll mess with the resources.
No, but that's not why it's suspending. It's not suspending in RAM. It's just because the drive is so fast that it just leaves a save state of, okay, this is what was going on in the system at that moment. And then it loads up that moment.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it's, hopefully it won't affect the performance either way. I mean, I know you're saying it's different, but
well, like I said, it's not based on the RAM. If it was based on the RAM, you would literally need like 60 gigs of RAM for each, so that you could have every save state of every game preloaded in RAM. But the idea is that these hard drives are going to be fast enough to act as RAM. And because that's the case, you can just literally have the game stuck in a position just on the hard drive and you just move on to the next bit of data. And that's why they also say almost instantly, where they're not saying like it's as fast as GDR6, because if it was, then I mean, why have RAM in the first place? You just would use the SSD. But it's fast enough where, in let's say 3 seconds, they can just load it back up into the RAM and you're off to the races in the game again.
I'd like to see what they do with the multiplayer stuff.
I mean, multiplayer's all dedicated. Like I'm playing Sea of Thieves right now. It's gonna knock you out and say, "Hey, you're a lazy beard," and
You think maybe they figured it out though?
What do you mean?
Like, if you're still connected to the internet, like, is it they're gonna figure that part out? Maybe.
I think it might just toss you back to the front end of the game, but other than that, it's gonna kick you out of any service like that, because it's also a data connection issue where people still have caps, and you don't want to like forget that you had Apex on, but then you're keep downloading and uploading to Apex. You know
know how many gigabytes I used this month?
Too many.
Bro, I used 1,700 gigabytes.
All the gigabytes.
1,700 in 1 month.
That's a lot.
God. Fuck yeah, it is. That's 700 gigs more than my data cap. Yeah. And Comcast used to give you an option to go unlimited after you went over and only pay $50, but not anymore. It's fucking ridiculous. Fuck those guys over there. Every time I was thinking about it, I was laughing because I was thinking about the South Park episode where they have like those fucking nipple flaps. You seen that? Hey, y'all seen that shit? You ain't seen that shit.
No, I don't know.
No, they got like these shit. You gotta watch the episode. It's great. It's great. They have like nipple flaps on their shirts, and as you're complaining about your service, they're like rubbing their nipples, getting off on it.
I don't think I got that far. I know I saw them like, oh man, somebody needs service for their internet, and then they would like get in their van and hurry up and rush over, and then go to the bowling alley, get groceries.
Yeah.
Do all the other crazy shit.
Yeah, you need to watch that. That's your homework. Guys. Watch that episode.
All right.
But anyway,
go for it. No, you go. What?
No, I just was going to say. So it's really only going to benefit a single player for the most part, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, as server side, you're still going to be stuck with having to reconnect. But I mean, theoretically, the game should load a lot quicker, even if you're waiting to get back into the server.
Yeah. See, if
Or
this was always online like it was supposed to be from the beginning, things would be different, guys. Things would be.
I think you'd still end up with these same issues. And honestly, at this point, like it or not, we're always online.
Yeah.
The shit went into effect. Didn't even fucking notice it. Everybody complained and bitched, and now,
Only thing I was cared about was having the connect. Honestly,
yeah.
like if I didn't want it. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic.
Okay, Connect 3.0. No, I'm just kidding. Dynamic latency input, which optimizes the player to console pipeline, starting with the Xbox wireless controller, which leverages our high bandwidth priority wireless communication protocol when connected to the Xbox console. With dynamic latency input, a new feature which synchronizes input immediately with what is displayed. Controls are even more precise and responsive. So this is like they're literally lining up your controls with the frame buffer in the game. Oh, guys, there's a ship coming towards me. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know. I've never done this on a stream.
Don't you have those new chain cannonball things? Try them out.
I don't have them.
You suck.
I was told to ram them. I'm going
Yep,
to ram them.
Ram them.
I've sold all my fish. I think I should be ramming them. All right, picking it up. We're moving in. I'm gonna get some cannonballs, maybe some fire ones. I mean, I know we're supposed to be doing a podcast right now, but this is important. This is important, people.
No, we understand. Anyway, well, while Dustin is doing that,
We
what
could
was
talk
the next
about.
topic?
Well, we talked about dynamic latency input, but we're moving on to HDMI 2.1. This person's trying to shoot cannonballs at me. I bet they try to board my ship now.
But I'm not sure how much more we get out. I don't have the stuff pulled up, but I can imagine.
120 frames per second support's coming. We're getting. What else are we getting? It's gonna be like pretty much. It allows you to have that 4K 120. That's the important part.
Well, I'm getting the 144 already, so it's nothing new to me. But I'd like to see it in 4K though.
I mean, I don't want to talk too much shade, but I was listening to the Kind of Funny reaction.
I don't listen to
this
them much
motherfucker
anymore.
Tried to say, "Oh, you can't see over 120 frames." I'm like, dude.
No, you can. You
so
can.
fucking
You can.
dumb. You can
Well,
easily
the
see
human
over 120 frames easily.
the human eye, like it doesn't perceive like
Frames.
over. I think it's
period. You don't see frames. Like that's not how it
yeah,
works.
yeah. Like it doesn't see it the same way. It's just, and it doesn't. It's hard to explain it, but basically
I'll put it this way:
it's not that
if
you
fighter pilots are able to control aircraft, you see way more than 120 frames. Reason being is I think they clocked like human eyesight. They could tell the difference around like 600 frames per second, I believe what it was. So yes, there's a point where it becomes like it just doesn't matter anymore. Like there's a
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
But to say you can't perceive it is just incorrect. Like you can, but it's just gonna be a ridiculous
tell that to the motherfucker
speed.
putting the VR headset on if he can tell the difference between 120 frames and 90 frames and with a VR headset on.
A very clear difference.
Yeah, it's a difference, but it's also
that doesn't mean 60 doesn't feel
and
fluid.
The distance. Yeah, it's like the view distance and the screen. It's like a lot of stuff go. It's not just if it's 120 you can't tell. Like a lot of stuff goes into it.
Yeah.
Your screen size matters. Like 120 frames on a fucking 28-inch monitor it looks way better than a fucking on a big ass like 40-inch TV.
I don't know. I'm waiting. I'm excited to see I really think they might bring out the next Killer Instinct and it be 120 frames per second 4K. Because a fighting game is going to be the ultimate fucking responsive.
I mean, it'd be
pure
cool,
frame
but
rate, but the amount of people being able to play it at that level are going to be so few in between. I don't. Yeah. Man, that's going to make frame timing such a big fucking thing too.
Yeah.
Because the only way you would be able to compete with somebody on like a 120 hertz monitor would be on a 144 hertz monitor, which you could totally do. But it's, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be interesting to see fighting games reach those frame rates and how the community, because it's such a, like, it's all about frame timing. So I'm curious how it plays out.
Engines and stuff go into it and play it a lot too. Like if the game isn't designed to have that stuff in mind, it won't make a huge difference either.
Yeah.
Like you can brute force a lot of stuff, but if the engine doesn't even like it's like trying to play a fucking Wii game on a nice TV. Like you can buy like I forgot what kind of cables they are. I guess it's 1080p cables because it's so old.
Yeah.
But the game itself will like skip, or the controls will be fucked up because the console doesn't run on that good of a TV. It's not supposed to really, or the games aren't made for it. So it just depends on. It's like a lot of stuff goes into it. It's not just one thing, not one, and the person makes a difference too. Like if you fucking got like thick ass glasses and shit, and you can't see good. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference. Like me, who has great vision and can see every fucking thing. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely noticeable if your like eyesight is good.
Hell yeah.
It's just like the common people, like they'll probably just see that, oh, it's so smooth, like, or like, it looks so like fast, I don't know. People they perceive it a little differently.
It is faster. It's faster.
Right.
But it's also the physics response time in games too. Like are going to have to change. Like if you play something like Forza Horizon, when you play in 30 mode, is still the physics are updating, I believe, in 60. So it's double essentially double the frame rate. But like Forza Motorsport, I believe, somebody's going to correct me on this, I believe it's 120 frames per second already, what their physics engine runs at. So even though you're only ever playing at 60, like they're prepped, they know exactly what's happening on the physics engine. But that means when you move your controller, it's super responsive, like always, because the physics engine is actually ahead of the game itself.
Yeah, I feel like it even smooths out some of the image, like movement. Like it looks
does.
smooth. Yeah, like it's not. It
like, makes it look better.
Yeah, like it doesn't smooth out jaggies or anything, but it does make the fluidity like much. Like it just looks different. Like even it still looks better. Like even at like a lower resolution or whatever. So.
But I will say though, like if you have like say the X isn't strong enough to do it at one, and it's like struggling to fucking like keep it at that frame rate, it's more noticeable for it to be fucked up in between 120 and 100 and stuff than it would be like 50 to 60. Like it's way more noticeable because it's jumpy. It's real jumpy.
Yeah, it's like jittery. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but like once you play a game like I went to Best Buy one time and they had like this I can't remember exactly what was going on, but they had Doom there when they had that I can't remember what card it was, but they had it fucking going at like super high frame rate. It was insane. And that game, it's already designed to like go really, really fast,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was coughing. Hold on. And like when you see a game like that go like that fast, man, it blows your mind like to see like how a game can move that way. So you just have to see it in person, man. And honestly, to me, I don't know how everybody else is. I think like a smaller, like 24 to 28 inch like monitor, I think that looks way better than a 40 or 32 inch or even bigger. I mean, I know it's a TV, but they do make monitors that big, and I still feel like
it's also why
smaller monitors.
Like PC's not pushing 4K. It's just not. 4K is not worth it on a 22-inch monitor. It's fucking dumb.
No.
It doesn't look.
But at the frames though.
No, but the frame. Yeah, you want to play 144, but you're playing 144 at 1440p on you know, like I have a 65-inch TV. 4K looks way better than 1440p. Like it just does. It looks amazing.
It does.
But you like it's an interesting divergence between consoles and PC where it's like, you know what? Fucking the pixel density on, you know, a 25-inch, 30-inch monitor doesn't need to be the same as a 65-inch TV. So when you're playing something like, you know, Apex or whatever, like, yeah, I'd rather push frame rate. But we're seeing these consoles push 4K at 120. I think that's a worthwhile endeavor on certain games.
It is. But I'd love to see that with HDR, though. Like 120 frames with HDR, like, because that was the thing that really blew my mind. It was like, like when I was playing CFDs on PC at 1440p with everything turned up, and I had the res, or not the res, but the frames like all the way up to 144 hertz. It looked great, but when I put that shit on my TV, bruh, and I turned the HDR on,
you're just like, wow, that's.
I mean, it was at 30 frames and it was kind of slow. But god damn, man, that sun when that sun hit that water.
No, but once let's say you were playing at 60 on Sea of Thieves, which I think they're gonna patch 60 in for the Series X at least.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it'll be 4K 60. That's still a decent, you know, there's nothing to scoff at that, you know. 60 frame per second, HDR, 4K. Sea of Thieves is gonna look amazing. And you really, you know, even with PCs, like, you don't see that. Not that, you know, power yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the TVs have a more developed HDR screens and stuff. Like,
I mean, the HDR, yeah, they're still bringing that slowly into computer monitors. Like, you at this point, if you spend $250 on a computer monitor, you're not really usually getting HDR or... Shit, you're really not even getting 1440p yet. You're getting 144 hertz though, which is really nice.
Yeah, which that's changed a little bit, Dustin.
I just bought a monitor, so I know. I'm surprised. Like,
it depends on what brand.
Yeah, because I just got a new HP monitor. I'm digging it. I love the high refresh rate, but it's still a 1080p monitor. But I got it on sale for 160. I'm definitely not complaining. I'm very happy with it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see definitely for sure, like, how it plays out. I just think it's very interesting to see consoles and PCs diverge. I mean, of course, you're always going to have people that try to hook up their PC to a 65-inch TV to push it to some kind of new extreme, which, hey, more power to you. But you're going to be running multiple RTX 3000 series graphics cards to push these graphics at this point in 4K or 8, moving up to 8K. So
I'd like to see that though, Dustin.
What's that?
What you're talking about? Couple 3000 RTXs on a 65-inch TV. I'd love to see
mean, yeah, it's gonna be it will happen, and it's gonna look gorgeous, and that's how you're gonna get these. Somebody's gonna have 3 of them running in, and they'll be running some kind of... It'll probably be a Forza Motorsport game of some sort. Because they're very well... if anything, they're super optimized for PC. Because we've already seen, 2080s running it in 8K already on PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be crazy to see what they come up with. But yeah, I saw somebody... They were running 4 4K monitors and playing Forza.
Yeah, I want to see how their the lighting looks for the new Forza. Like, Forza has to be like incredibly like advanced considering.
Yeah, because ray tracing, it's gonna be a big hit on performance. So it'll be interesting to see how this exactly what the hardware acceleration does. Because right now we know that the Series X is going to be, like we said, RDNA 2.0. versus 1.0, which right now it's rumored that the PlayStation is 1.0. So that would mean it's using some 2.0 features, but they're not going full 2.0 like Microsoft.
Yeah, exactly. And like it'll be interesting because like I know people complain about Force's lighting look a little bit flat or like. I mean, I
It's
feel like it's pretty
cartoony.
natural. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's natural looking, but it's not as dynamic looking as like maybe like like GT Sport really has like good HDR, but it's not like crazy looking sunsets and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
like kind of natural, kind of basic lighting, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to describe it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we have what was it? The next part. The next generation of gaming compatibility. 4 generations of gaming that they're talking about. So you're going to be able to play from original Xbox games to Xbox 360 games, Xbox One, all the way to Series X games. That's, it's awesome that they're committed to backwards compatibility. Let's see. Look and play better than ever before. Your favorite games, including titles on Xbox Game Pass, benefit from steadier frame rates, faster load times. What I'm really hoping that we see in this is original Xbox games and even 360 games all getting resolution bumps, not just a select few. It's just because the hardware will be strong enough to push those games to new resolutions using that the technique they developed for the Xbox One. Because just even some just original Xbox games like the Splinter Cell games hold up so well once you bust the resolution up.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes quite a big difference on the assets and the quality of the game. So yeah, I mean, I know we talked about that briefly, but yeah, it's gonna be a huge feature if it enhances the games like that high up.
All right, we also have smart delivery. This technology empowers you to buy the game once and know that whether you are playing it on Xbox One or Xbox Series X, you are getting the right version of the game or whatever Xbox you're playing on. So it's kind of a commitment to like kind of a one store philosophy. And this is like, oh, I bought Cyberpunk 2077 on my Xbox One. What are we going to play next? Or, man, I'm going to have to buy something to get an upgraded version of this game.
Mm-hmm.
And this was another news article we had. Like, at this point, we're just smashing the news articles together. CD Projekt Red was like, yeah, you should only buy your games once. You bought it on the Microsoft Store. It works on Series X. It works on Xbox One. It's one copy to rule them all, which is awesome because that means, Cyberpunk comes out, let's say 2 months before the new Xbox. There's a good argument to go, I'm not buying Cyberpunk for Xbox One. I'll wait for Series X, but now you won't have that issue. You can just buy it for both. You'll have it for both.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see PlayStation not adopting the same.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Like
that would be kind of.
I'm not gonna put words in their mouth, but it would leave a bad taste in gamers' mouths.
Yeah.
If anything, like with Microsoft releasing all this and talking about this early, it forces them to do it in some sense. Like where it's like, yeah, that's us too. We're not gonna screw consumers out of, games they bought.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully that'll be the case.
And of course, Game Pass is part of their future vision for Xbox. We have gushed over Game Pass so many times on this podcast. I'm not really going to get into it. I think that kind of covers everything in their little representation of what's going on in the system, the state of Xbox. I don't think there's anything we missed out on. Let's see. We talked about Cyberpunk and how they're going to make it so you don't have to buy multiple copies of CD Projekt Red's making it so we don't have to buy multiple through Xbox Smart Delivery. We talked about the GPU on the Series X is technically faster than an RTX 2080 Super. Moving on. I'm just making sure I'm covering all the news peeps.
Yeah.
You good.
We have Microsoft Xbox Series X will be able to resume games even after a reboot. covered that. That was awesome. I need to listen to that Major Nelson episode.
Yeah, the guy that he's talking to is a bit of a mouth breather, so it's kind of hard to listen to.
Okay.
He's like all on the mic. Like I'm surprised Major Nelson to be like, "Hey, back the fuck up," because Major Nelson is like a huge audiophile. He loves microphones and shit.
Yeah.
And that really blew my mind that he didn't say nothing. And he's breathing hard too. It's like he just ran a flight of stairs to get to the podcast. Like, bro, chill, bro.
Well, you probably didn't want to say nothing because he's kind of a big part of the Xbox team. Sabotage his favorite.
Nah, bro. Like, just back up. Just take about 6 inches back away from the mic.
All right, we have Phil Spencer is taught about the video game industry should openly discuss problems like crunches and game loops that are exploitive. I agree. I mean, it needs to be something that, at the very least, the big four need to come out and talk about. Well, I guess like the big 5 or 6. They really do need to make a group. Like, and I'm not even saying, like, I'm not saying a union or something. I know some people will be against that. Some people will be for it. But it's like there needs to be a discussion about, like, hey, if I could release, we get release windows are a thing. And you need to be able to, sometimes you got to crunch those hours, but you don't want to, essentially you don't want slave labor. You want to be able to pay people what they deserve. And, you want consumers to get what they deserve in a timely fashion.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, hey, you're going to be working 120 hours this week. We need you to finish this product so that we can release it out the door. Like, that's, it's impossible to do. And, like, it'll be interesting to, it would be nice to see the industry come together, like, see, not really even Steam, but like EA, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, like the big publishers come together and be like, hey, look, we need, maybe create an ethics standard for developers.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
They could, like commit to kind of a UN of, for devs. And that way they can, get real input from across, and they could really implement it across the industry, where it would be like, hey, this at this point, you got to do X and Y for your employees. And that way they're just not going from studio to studio, from one bad situation to another.
Yeah, I feel like they mostly adopted that in 343, because I know they were kind of crunching for Halo 5, and they had a lot of Halo projects that were kind of in the works, and they had to rush them out, and not rush them out, but they had to put them, they had a certain deadline, and it was a big budget game, so I think that's why they're taking so long with Infinite, on top of the engine stuff. But I think they're doing it with Gears too. Hopefully they give it more time. I mean, I know 5 came out pretty quick, but they definitely need more time.
All right. Let's see. Next story. Obsidian came out on Twitter, and we have found out that they're actually working on three separate games. One is an unknown AAA RPG. They're working on Grounded, the Outer Worlds franchise, and an unknown AAA game. And they're hiring 32 more people. So
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know if we'll see anything at E3 from Obsidian on that front.
Yeah, it seems too early.
We'll probably see more Grounded. We'll probably see more Grounded.
Yeah, more Grounded, but the unknown RPG, I don't think we'll see yet.
So the other one is probably Outer Worlds 2, right?
Yeah. Well, they just called it the Outer Worlds franchise. So I'd imagine either they're going to be working, either there'll be DLC that pops up with E3, which we would see, or they're doing Outer Worlds 2. Or, I mean, it could be both.
Didn't they just release DLC?
They did, but they could have like a big expansion or something.
Yeah, that's probably, I'd say that's more likely what we're going to get.
All right, Infinity Lion wanted to remind us about the Mixer CEO story. So, yeah, there was like I'll be honest, I didn't read too much into it, but there was a big, I guess, a leaked video of like a Mixer staff meeting
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And the morale at Mixer is supposedly, like I said, I don't know the story, is very low. With the CEO, like pretty much all of the original management leaving. I
I'd
mean,
say fucking so.
yeah, I
Yeah,
It
mean, at the
makes
same
sense,
time,
Dustin.
yeah, I mean, you get bought up, you're gonna, the idea that they're not putting money into Mixer, like I don't see that. Like we're definitely seeing them trying to prop it up and make it a bigger thing.
They
But it's
fucking bought Ninja. Are you kidding me?
yeah, I mean they are definitely trying to make it a big service. But like it's hard to get into office politics on, about what's going on feature wise, everything like that. I'm kind of hoping that they were sticking it for the next Xbox to pop up some more features on that when it comes to their streaming solution. But we'll have to, it's kind of a wait and see game. I mean, I hope anybody that's working there the best. Like, we would never want the employees to, want employees, I should say, to feel terrible, or just like we were talking about the dev crunch time thing for the games themselves. Like I can't imagine what it's like working on a platform like Mixer or Twitch or any of those things where you're trying to evolve it day in and day out and trying to keep up with demand and fix the problems with Mixer. Like there's been, and from my understanding, they got rid of like these bullshit streams that are like farming streams that don't do anything. Because they were taking up the front page. They were even on the front page of Xbox for a minute. On the Xbox dashboard. So, yeah, like it's been like they've been going through challenges, of course, but like any company goes through challenges. I'm like I said, I'm curious to see how this plays out and like kind of more of that story. I don't know if we will though, like it's kind of a situation where we might never know what's going on with inside of Mixer till the very end. I can't imagine they're gonna cancel Mixer by any means. Like
they can. They got too much money in Mixer to cancel it anytime. I mean, they've literally bought out of the top 10 streamers, they bought S7. Yeah. They really have. So there's nothing. I don't know. I don't understand what more they could do to like hype up their employees or their. Well, no, I mean it's the people within the. I wouldn't even say. I wouldn't say it. I'm talking about just the people who fucking work there. Like if you're upset about the company you work for, and they literally, like I work for. Everybody know I'm the Pepsi man. If we fucking went out and bought Coca-Cola from Coke, we just took that shit. Like that would be insane. I mean, that's basically what they fucking did. They bought out the biggest streamer on their number one competitor's platform.
Yep. They've been buying a lot of them. Like they've been poaching. I mean, they got T-Fuse, they got Ninja, they got like all the big guys. Yeah. They've been picking them up.
They got a lot of.
Yeah. Like it's not like they're not like supporting like if Microsoft didn't do nothing, they just bought it and then like was letting it die. Like I get it.
Yeah.
But clearly that's not been their tactic for it. Like they are going after streamers. Like
I just feel like
anytime
Microsoft
somebody's like, I got a big announcement to make, and they're on Twitch, it's like, oh shit, they might be going to Mixer. Like that's fucking pretty much the first guess. Like, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I hope nothing for the best for the employees. I don't want them to,
It seems to just be like a
hate where they work
issue. Yeah, because like they did reduce a whole ton of staff, and the owners left, and so it's like almost like just almost, I don't say it's skeleton crew because I don't know exactly how many people work in there, but it's very reduced compared to like the support they got before when they first initially bought it. So it should be interesting to see.
Those people who left though, they wanted to leave.
No, yeah,
they put in their contract that if we get bought out, then I'm only working here this long and I'm taking my money. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I don't blame them.
Well, there was also the presenters too, like remember Rukari and what's that other?
But did he work for a Mixer or did he work for Microsoft? Like, how does
I
that
think I
work?
think
Like,
I think it's from Microsoft, but I know the mixer thing was a big part of it though. So
yeah, I mean, he was doing the fucking Xbox. What is it called? I'm about to say Xbox. He's doing Xbox Uncut. I was about to say
okay.
that, but no, he's doing the fucking show, whatever. This
Yeah.
weekend, not this week at Xbox, the monthly show.
Yeah,
What is? They don't even do that shit no more. When
No,
last time they
they
had one of
killed
those?
them because and they weren't Microsoft employees; they were third party
Oh, they're
contractors.
third party.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, hey, there you go.
because they dropped. Because I mean, honestly, this week on Xbox was fucking garbage. Nobody liked watching it,
Oh,
and they brought him
I
back
didn't.
for they brought him back a couple times for what was it, XO19 and stuff like that. But nobody watched those shows. They were cringy like every single time.
I do like Ricari though. I like him.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like those shows mostly were just fucking cringe fest, and it was just like, I mean, this is just a. It felt like PR
You know,
fluff.
they need us, man. They need somebody like me up there, fucking cussing and
Infinity
calling people
Line
motherfuckers.
says the Mixer app needs to be on more devices. I completely agree.
yeah, is that too?
That's not enough. Infinity Line. I'm sorry.
Oh
They
no,
needed
but
to be about. They need to be about 6 years earlier, and Ninja should have originated there. That's what they needed, something like that, and it's too late.
I
Microsoft does this to
look.
themselves all
I
the
will
time.
say this. This is what Microsoft needs to, in my opinion, what they need to do is they need to stop trying to compete with Twitch because they've already done what they need to do to compete with Twitch. That's not they shouldn't be. That shouldn't be their goal. Their goal should be to compete with YouTube. And when I say that, I mean that they need to be able to, like, hey, I want to post this link that has an active video of me in any service, name website, doesn't matter. Because, like, when you go to a website, you look up a video, like, on demand, it's using YouTube. You click on it, it instantly starts playing. You can send it to your friends. It's convenient. That's why people use YouTube, for convenience. And it can go everywhere, anywhere. And Mixer needs to be that. Like, they need to have the resources just to go, hey, you want to edit your videos and fucking have videos on demand? Mixer. Like, they could definitely take. They're the only ones that could really take on Google and create an alternative to YouTube. And Mixer would be that platform. Like, over time. Like, that's. Because, like I said, they already, they have better live streaming than fucking Twitch. The bit rate's better. The fucking almost everything on the platform's better. What they don't have is the convenience of YouTube. They don't have the even Twitch has better convenience. Like, if I posted a Twitch link, like I should be able. It should have better video on demand.
Yeah, I just think their install base is just never really. I think it's never going to catch up to like Twitch or YouTube. So it's going to be a rough uphill battle for them.
Well, like I said, you got to expand your customer reach, and streaming needs to expand to competing with something like YouTube, not just because if your sites are always Twitch, like you're never gonna beat Twitch because you're always gonna be following. If your sites are being the best streaming / video on demand service on the internet, and don't get me wrong, YouTube's not the best streaming service on the internet. It's Twitch. But YouTube is definitely the best video on demand service by far. So if you aim for YouTube for your video on demand, you'll surpass Twitch because you've already have better features than Twitch. Like, you have the quality people want. But now it's time to really apply that. Like, but that's my opinion. I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll be right about something. Is there any other news articles y'all wanted to cover? Because that's kind of all I had for this week.
I don't think so.
Well, I have a few. Apex Legends, they announced a new event, similar to the Grand Soiree, which is called System Overdrive. They're just gonna have new skins and modes. Also gonna have like interesting like mechanics, like a shield that changes like the property. So it's like it could be a gold or red is like the new one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just interesting. So that's
Red
cool. Yeah, it's like a new like shield above. gold and stuff, which is interesting. And also they're gonna add new skins, like for the weapons, of course, the character stuff. Um, different. I think the mode is one of them is like each like the ring is gonna be the same for like, so it's gonna be consistent type of like ring every time you play it, and they have the same loot in the same spots, so it's gonna be cool. What else? Yeah, for that one, that's the only thing I could think of. Apex. I mean, I've been playing it a lot lately, so
I seen you this morning. I was going.
Yeah, I've been trying to, increase my battle pass, but yeah, it's been pretty good. I mean, they've been pretty good with the updates lately, and it's been fun playing it, even though it gets frustrating too. So, what's the other one I had? Also Anthem got the 1.7.0 game update, the patch, which is you see it's 6 concurrent active daily challenges that rotate every through these categories: contracts, world events, time trials, creature kills. Yeah, different little events. They added like anniversary skins, which are cool. They also added what else? I think they rotated out the store for new stuff. What's that? I mean, I forget. I don't know the exact contents, but I mean, they kind of refreshed some stuff. It's not like the hugest update because they're still, basically the biggest update is the one that's coming up. So they said they're gonna have their heads down and try to make sure they get that right. And then, so it's gonna be very small updates in between now and then. But yeah, it's looking kind of on the up with that game. So hopefully they'll be able to, make that a better game for next gen at least.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know about that one.
Will. Oh, they have the resources, so there's no reason.
Okay.
I'd rather see it succeed somehow at the end of the day.
I mean, I don't want to see a game die, but I'm not going to sit here and say I don't think it's going to, it's going to stay.
Yeah.
In the trash. In the trash world. All right, well, we can move on to the all the cool media stuff. I'm dying to hear what Dustin's been.
Okay,
tell me about it, bud.
I caught up on Black Clover. I watched like 25 episodes apparently.
Really, I haven't watched it. I might watch that. I'm on vacation still.
I really like Black Clover. Watch Black Clover. It's good,
especially the
beginning.
Dub good?
Yeah, the dub's great. Oh, dude, yeah. You won't have an issue. Dub's great. Man, what else did I watch? I watched Black Clover. What was this shit? It was such a stupid fucking anime. It was called, I put all my power in defense, like, in vitality or something like that. I can't believe I'm still watching it. It's these two girls start playing this VR MMO, and one has to, couldn't play at the same time, so she goes ahead, the girl that doesn't play games goes ahead, creates a character. It just puts all her health into vitality, like all her points. She doesn't put it into anything else, so she's just a walking fucking tank. But while she's doing that, nothing can hurt her, and she gets poison spec as her attacks because something poisons her, but she survives. So of course the game grants her the ability to poison others, and she just keeps being this monster tank that the game wasn't it's like nobody ever thought about just putting everything into vitality as a developer, which would never happen. People do that all the time, putting all their resources into one spec. But it's funny. It's a good little anime. But I watched that, and what else did I watch? I watched something else. But Black Clover was the big one. Yeah, I really enjoyed catching up on Black Clover because we got to the end of the kind of the season for Black Clover. We actually reached a conclusion to the arc we were on, which was awesome. Because it had gone on for 40 episodes, 45 episodes. It was a long arc. But it just left me wanting a lot more. Man, I'm blanking on the other anime I watched because was that Black Clover? I don't know. I can't remember the third one.
Must have sucked.
What's up?
I said it must have sucked.
Yeah, I don't think it sucked. I'm drawing a blank on it. What have you been watching, sir?
Well, I'm watching a little bit of My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I got to catch up
You
on that
know,
one myself.
yeah, the movie just came out. I might go see it tomorrow if it's anywhere where I'm at. So we'll see. We'll see. The boy might get out.
Yeah,
But
I looked. I saw it at the theater around here too. I'm considering myself going to
do you
see it.
know if it's dubbed? Is it dubbed in theater or is it?
I think it's both. You can find one subbed or dubbed. It's usually how
I'm not
most
about
anime
to.
releases go.
About to say I'm not about to read it on no fucking big ass TV. Fuck that shit. But anyway, so I watched some of that. But the big one I watched was no, I thought you were about to say something. The big thing I watched really was whoa wow what the oh okay well it kind of fucking me up by making those noises.
I
But
know.
anyway,
I'm making a bunch of noises that nobody can hear other than like Will and
oh,
Steph.
okay. Well, anyway,
Oh,
the big
Radiant.
thing
I'm sorry, real quick. Radiant was the third anime before I forget. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, but the big one I watched was fuck, are you making me forget what I was watching? God damn you,
You're welcome.
Jesus,
You're welcome.
Jesus.
I had the Funimation sound going. I had everything, peeps. Fucking Steph is just pissed at this point. I'm an asshole. I know.
It's okay. But I also watched I was just gonna talk about the Outsider. Have you watched it yet?
I mean, I've watched most of it. I'm not caught up yet.
Right now.
I need to
Oh
catch
man,
back up.
God damn you, Dust.
Look,
Jesus.
things have been happening, sir. Things have been happening.
Man,
Let's just
look.
say that.
Man, look, that shit is fire. I also watched an old ass movie because I was wanting to watch a horror film last night,
Uh huh.
and it's funny because they had the guy who plays Batman, not Batman, Alfred, and the Nolan, fuck, I can't think of his name. You know what I'm fucking talking about? The good Batman movies, the
Mm-hmm.
recent ones. That guy, the fucking Alfred, he's like a serial killer in the fucking movie. It was hilarious because he was like kind of young, I guess, but it was funny. Like the whole time, I'm like, I know this motherfucker from somewhere. And it was Alfred. I was like, that's fucking Alfred, baby. That's Batman's bitch.
Which one?
It was
The one from the 80s Batman or
no. The
Let's talk about
Alfred
Nolan
from
Batman.
yeah,
Alfred.
Nolan's yeah,
Michael
that
Caine?
Alfred. Yeah, yeah. He's in the fucking. He's a serial killer in this movie called. Well, they're kind of spoiling it by saying that. But anyway, he's a serial killer in this movie called Dress to Kill. It's like an '80s movie. It's terrible though. Like everything's in slow motion and it's fucking boobs all over the place, full frontal bush. My woman was like, "What the fuck are you watching?" I was like, "It was rated higher than Red Dragon. I wanted to see what it was."
Jeez.
Yeah, it was fucking rated. It was terrible, man. It was fucking terrible. It completely reminded me of Red Dragon because it has like the same beats in certain parts.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good though. It was funny. It was pretty funny. But anyway, I watched that movie and I watched The Outsider. Guys, watch The Outsider. If you are not watching this TV show, you're missing out. It's fucking great, buddy. But yeah, and I watched My Hero Academia and another anime that I'm completely blanking on right now because of Dustin. It's all his fault. Will,
Yeah.
did you see anything good?
Well, my girlfriend has been watching Outlander on Netflix. It's based off like what we call it, a romance novel. So I didn't think I would like it, but it's actually pretty interesting. It's pretty fun.
Outlander.
Outlander, yeah, it's about some
Oh, okay.
lady that English lady that gets sent back in time. It's to Scotland, and she has to live in that time, and then I think she goes back and forth in the future and stuff like that. But it's like a drama slash adventure. I don't know. It's a It's for women, but it's
Yeah.
actually kind of interesting.
Vern and Maria told me I need to watch it. So
Oh yeah,
Really?
yeah.
that's funny.
I
'Cause the
watched
main,
the Key show. I watched the Key show. That's what the other thing. Me and my
okay.
woman watched the whole thing together. Fucking Lock and Key. Yeah, that's pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah, well, it was pretty good. But you know what? I can't stand a TV show when there's a little kid who goes, "I'm not a little kid anymore," and you're fucking like 8, bro. You're a fucking little kid. You're watching
Yeah.
cartoons and shit.
Yeah, there is that. I mean, it's a good show. I definitely want to check out the comics as soon as I can.
That's based off a comic.
Yeah. I think it's a few. It's got quite a few of them because it was on for like a while. The comics series.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, watch Outlander. And it's kind of like the main guy kind of reminds me of Samwise Gamgee. He has like that same look, even though he's obviously taller and more handsome. But yeah, it'll kind of just remind you a bit of Lord of the Rings in some ways if you watch it.
What? Lock it. What talking about? Outlander? No?
Outlander, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Besides that, I don't think I've really been watching much else. I mean, I've kind of tapped out most of the other stuff. I'm looking forward to The Boys, the second season. Hopefully, that comes out
when's
soon.
that coming? Oh yeah. Okay. I thought you were gonna give me a.
No. Well, there's also two things I forgot. Baldur's Gate 3 was debuted today. It had a gameplay uh, demo, which is cool. Same people behind Divinity: Original Sin, and Xbox One dashboard got an update this week as well. Almost kind of shadow dropped because we didn't know it was coming, but it was updated pretty well. Like it looks pretty clean. I'm so used to do the right bumper for the menus, so it takes a little bit to get used to because you don't really see all the content right away. It's kind of like in layers, so it's interesting. But yeah, I like it. I mean, it's pretty clean, and then the organization is pretty good. So if you haven't updated yet, definitely update your Xbox so you get the new
Yeah,
dashboard.
it's a lot speed. Yeah, it's so much snappier on the new dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. Well, I've been waiting all week to go on this tangent. Oh man, have you been keeping up with any of this DC and Marvel bullshit?
Is
Is that real?
that they're buying, or they kind of you get top
No. So
from
both.
Marvel?
So in the end of the whole Doctor Manhattan arc with DC, they reference Hawk and Thor. And then at the end of the Thor Hawk and Marvel, they reference Superman. Well, they draw like they reference the god of speed, the god of strength, the god, and they're a league of gods that come together. So clearly, both Marvel and DC are doing a crossover in 2021. Like they're not fucking hiding it. Like they drew streaks for Aquaman, Superman, The Flash, and Green Lantern. Like they're coming to fucking Marvel.
That's pretty cool.
And there's going to be a really cool crossover. Awesome. I'm excited. It should be fun. That does not mean Marvel or Disney is buying DC Comics. Like, just because they reference it in both comic universes, that they're going to be visiting one another, doesn't mean it's a buyout.
Oh, is that where it came from?
Huh?
I didn't realize that's where that rumor came from.
Yeah, that's where it came from. So the whole idea is that if the fifth gen, or whatever they're calling the next DC big thing, doesn't work out well for them, that they might stop publishing DC Comics and just go online only and just have a digital version of the comic. Might be their way forward. But there's this huge, people are like, well, DC, like, what's going to happen is Disney will just buy DC from Warner Brothers just for like $25 billion or some astronomical amount. I never see that happen. That's not going to happen.
Can they do that though? Can they, like, legally?
Yeah, they can. Legally, they'd be able to.
Like,
no, they're still deviant. Like there's a bunch of other comic book publishers. They might have to sell some of their like other comics to some of those publishers. But yeah, I mean the characters you would want, that Marvel would want, they'd be able to sell it to them if they really wanted to.
Oh, they also it did fire Danny Dio too.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. It was crazy.
But what's more like what would more than likely happen? Not I'm not even gonna say more than likely. What's more possible would be that DC would stop. Well, AT&T would stop because AT&T owns Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers owns DC Comics. DC Comics would just stop publishing, but then would literally go like they would allow Marvel to publish DC Comics. So they could publish their characters. So you could totally have like Superman. You could merge the universes, but Warner Brothers would still own everything. Like it's just it would be like, hey, you're gonna pay us, let's say 25, $5 billion a year to use these characters. But there's no way that Warner Brothers or AT&T gives up Batman and Superman. They make way too much money. The actual value to them is insane.
Yeah, it still weirds me out when you guys refer, like when the people refer to AT&T, controlling WB, the comics. It's just so weird still. Like, even I know they own them, but it's just like you think it'd just be like WB, but since they got bought out by that,
they got bought out by AT&T. So yeah, it's just weird. It's weird, but I mean, theoretically, it's possible that Warner Brothers or AT&T just like, you know what, we don't want to be in the comic game. That's not our thing. Yeah. But they bought a fucking entertainment industry. Like, they bought Warner Brothers. Like, they do want to be in that industry. Like, they don't fucking... It's not like they don't want it. That would defeat the purpose of why they bought them. Like,
yeah, because the comics...
Batman and all those characters are worth a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, they're the core of the business. Yeah. Like, the comics. I know they're not popular. I mean, it's not as many people buy comics anymore, but...
Batman
like IP creation.
Batman will outsell any Marvel movie because he's Batman. It's just a character people love. I don't like the new Cal. We've talked about it on the show, but
even
that movie's
Spider-Man?
Huh? A Batman movie versus a Spider-Man movie? Batman sells more. Let's look at the Nolan Batman movies.
Yeah.
Fucking.
But is that better than the
I'm not saying that makes him a better character. You could play however you want.
Not better. I mean, did it sell more? Okay.
The Nolan Batman movie sold way more than the Spider-Man movies did.
Those original ones or whatever.
Yeah. But it's those are those characters. Like, I think Spider-Man's probably on par with like the Superman movies, sales wise. Like, it's not. I mean, like, none of those sold bad. Except for Spider-Man 3, a terrible fucking movie. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it fucking happening. And just because they mention a fucking crossover event in the comics does not mean buyout. Everybody that kept saying that, it was like that boggled my mind. It's like, yeah, lawyers are just sitting there like, yeah, write the contract in episode, in comic book number 10. Like, just put it in there. Like, no,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised
deals.
if you don't think that them doing that didn't, like, there's not talks, like somebody was like, hey,
no, but there's always talks. It's like Microsoft buying Nintendo. Yeah, there were talks, but it's whatever. Like, it's not like the fucking Microsoft buying Sony. There were talks. Like, it was just like, yeah, could we do it theoretically? Yeah, we had that conversation. We decided not to. Like, we decided not to pursue it. Like, it's a bullshit way of making a fake news article. It's just going, yeah, there was a conversation. No shit. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They think about shit like that all the time. AT&T is literally actively fighting Disney in trying to buy up like every multimedia company they can.
Yeah, it's more of a sad state of affairs with how the media report news, though, instead of just like vetting stuff and they just run with anything.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's like, other than rumors, there's nothing concrete about this, and the only thing that's concrete, the only thing is that they reference a crossover in both Marvel and DC, and that's all we got.
It's canon too, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the references are both canon, I believe. So, There should be. I mean, what I imagine is going to happen in the crossover is going to be some interdimensional character that's going to cause a crisis and cause Marvel and DC characters to come together to fight off the crisis of some sort.
Who do you think gonna write it? Like Jeff Johns or something?
That'd be cool. I'd be down. I mean, Darkseid comes to Marvel. I think he's already done it before, but
Yeah.
make it canon, you know?
Yeah.
He sits outside of the multiverse. Like,
right.
You can easily just, Darkseid decides to attack Marvel. And Superman's like, fuck you, Darkseid. Like, I'm going to attack you. And ends up Superman in the Marvel universe with Hulk fighting, World Breaker, Red Hulk with Superman fighting Darkseid. Would be a fun comic.
Chill.
Chill.
I don't know. Like, there's.
I'm gonna need you to calm down, Dustin. Calm down.
Maybe they fight Spectre. I mean, they both I don't know. Like, both universes have like a version of the Presence, right? A version of God. Why not do that?
It's starting to sound like that fucking anime game that I thought was gonna be dope, but I didn't actually play it. What was that fucking? The one that's in Game Pass?
I'm not sure.
The anime game in Game Pass where all the anime came all together.
Oh, Jump Force.
Oh, Jump Force.
Yeah. It's starting to sound like some Jump Force.
No,
shit.
but they've actually. I mean, you got decent writers in both Marvel, DC. They can actually figure out a fucking plot to having the universes come together. I just don't want to see like Wolverine and Batman become one character again. That was disgusting looking.
Was it Dark Claw?
Yeah,
I remember that.
That was fucking dumb. But just like with any other crossover, like I don't care if New 52 Superman meets fucking Superman Prime or whatever, fucking Superman 1 or whoever. I don't mind crossing universes. I know some people don't like it. They just want their characters to be their characters in that certain universe. Doesn't bother me when you have people fight a multiversal threat. And you know what? Marvel is in the multiverse of DC, and DC's in the multiverse of Marvel. Like, it's always been a thing. They've always acknowledged each other's existence.
Yeah, they just had like a weird no crossover policy for the longest time since the JLA Avengers comics from I think George Perez and Kurt Busiek wrote and drawn.
Yeah.
So it was just a weird time. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a cool, fun crossover. I'm excited to see where they go with it, how they make it work.
Yeah.
I just thought it was fucking insane, the amount of articles about Marvel buying DC. It was just like, there's nothing here for you to really make that claim other than I want to push traffic.
Yeah, sadly.
All right. Well, that was my rant. I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
Man, what have y'all been playing? Excuse me.
I'll go first. Look, couple quick hits. Fucking. Damn, I can't even say the name of the game because I'm blanking on it. But I'll start with Detroit. Detroit become the game, so I slept on it. I'm glad I only paid $20 for it, but because the gameplay is pretty shitty, but the story is so good. The story is really, really good, man. So if you got a PlayStation, you haven't played it yet, you need to try it out. It's on sale, or no, I guess that was last week. It was on sale last week. It's pretty good though. I will say that I mean it could be my pettiness, but I don't like the fact that I can't fucking turn off my PlayStation or unplug it and go back to the decision that I fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's permanent.
Hell yeah, it's permanent. They figured that shit out.
You can't go in the old save and
ain't no saves. There's no saves. You are what you are.
I guess that's kind of smart.
That's bullshit.
So you want to backtrack?
That's bullshit. I don't like it. Don't like it one bit. Then the zombie game, whatever the fuck it's called. What is it? Days Gone. That's what it's called. Fuck. Yeah, it's still, like I said, still pretty good. Still feeling like I'm glad I didn't pay a full $60 for it. but still a decent game. So
Yeah.
no shade there. The story is picking up, but I feel like it feels like a fucking Ubisoft game, but not as good. It's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like because it's so like drawn out. I feel like this game could have been like 8 hours long, and just as good if they took out all the running around and grabbing 5 of these, or doing just the meaningless task. Because the story could be interesting if you just give me the story, but you make me do so much to get to it. So, but anyway, that and they had like a bunch of new like packs and shit, and so a couple new game modes. They got up right now if you play it called. They got a 3v3 sniper mode for Rust, and it's pretty good. Only thing I don't like about it is you don't get to pick your sniper. It's kind of sucks, but it's
Yeah.
still fun. So if you like to play on Rust, got some new game modes for Rust, uh, and that's pretty much it. I'll play that one game Will was talking about earlier, and Between Two Gardens or whatever that shit was.
Oh, Gardens Between.
Garden Between. That's what the fuck it's called. I played that, and Sleeping Dogs, but that didn't last long because the graphics looked terrible.
Sleeping Dogs. What, the first one?
Yeah, well, there's only one.
Oh,
Can
I thought we meant the Watch Dogs. Sorry.
I almost played Yakuza, and then I looked at the
That's right.
pictures, and I was like, man, that's ugly.
Forgot to mention that. Came to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we mentioned it last week, but it's
Yeah.
out now for
Yep.
anybody who wants to play.
All right, you go ahead, Will or Dustin, whoever.
I'll go ahead. I played some more Division 2. Uh, join that. I need to really commit. I want to get to level 30 before the new stuff comes out. Probably won't happen, and I'll just boost my character
Yeah, I
with
was
everybody
playing
else. Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing that tonight. You want to play? What level are you at now?
It's like 22-ish.
Oh, that's way higher than I am.
22, 23, somewhere in there. But yeah, I want to finish up the campaign of what I've played so far in that, which is crazy because I was looking at time played. I'm like 35 hours into that game. But I want to commit more time to it. I did buy the DLC for season 2 because it's like the New York stuff looks really cool, and I'm definitely want to play.
Yeah, did you get it for the $3 or you bought it before the sale?
Get it for what?
Did you get it when it was like $3 or it was before the sale?
No, I owned the Ultimate Edition of that game from release.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man, you could have waited and got it for $3.
Yep. Well, not the Ultimate version, but yeah,
Yeah.
a version of it for $3.
So does Ultimate come with the New York Pass and all that stuff?
No, it only came with all the season 1 stuff.
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, it came with other stuff, but yeah, it doesn't come with season 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lower level, so I don't know if you'd probably be far too ahead for me to do any like co-op with you. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we might do something. We'll figure something out. Just
Okay.
if what level are you?
Uh,
You say like
like
5, 6?
or 6.
Okay,
Yeah.
so like it would just make all your characters, like everything you're doing, level 22.
So level me up.
But you
instead
would
of
be
you.
level 22 as well. When it comes to how hard you
Oh.
hit. So
Okay.
like it's not like you wouldn't be at a super disadvantage, but they definitely everybody would hit harder. But it levels everybody up. It doesn't level anybody down. Like if I join your game, you would be 22. Like you wouldn't be 6. I mean, it would say
Okay.
you're 6, but you'd hit like a level 22 character.
So would I level up faster that way, or not?
Not really. You level up about the same.
Interesting.
It's just they make it so that when I come in, I don't get like instant kills all the time and level you up quicker.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Because like if my character hit a level 5 character, that shit would be fucking over. He would just explode. Because like my sniper, I do like 15,000 damage on a headshot, like 20,000 damage. And even level 22 characters, I'm taking a half of their health off with one shot.
The only thing I like in the game is the cosmetic gear is kind of whack. I don't know, compared to like the first one, it's not as like, cool looking. Maybe just because I'm early in the game, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
it gets better. I actually like how my character looks, but I get I just think you're early. That's all.
Yeah,
They tried to
You
spread
look
it out
happy.
more, but yeah, I am excited for season 2 though.
Yeah, hopefully we can find a way to team up and
Yeah.
maybe do a 3-man with Vern or something if he plays it.
Yeah. I played like 10 minutes of State of Decay 2. I got a friend that's really into it right now, and with the big update coming, I heard they're changing a lot about the game, so I'm definitely going to be giving that another go once that update releases. I played a good like 2-3 hours of Geometry Wars Evolved 2. I love that game. It is one of my favorite games of all time, and I want a 4K patch. You know,
Yeah.
want that 4K patch. And then because that's not super interesting, but I still love Geometry Wars. If you've never played Evolve 2, that's the game to get. Skip every other Geometry Wars. That's the only one you need. It's fantastic. And I was talking to Vern about this. I'm shocked that we haven't seen a sequel to it. I know Geometry Wars 3 3D or whatever fucking was garbage and it sucked and it's terrible. I completely agree. It's not a good Geometry Wars. But that's a simple fucking game, and they could have. There's still a lot of love for that game from a huge community. I'm shocked that we haven't seen Geometry Wars 4. You know, like
Yeah.
them re-release that.
So this Activision owns that license, right?
Yes,
So they fucked it up.
they fucked up 3, but I like it's such a bit like it was a beloved franchise. I just don't see why you wouldn't try to continue off of it. You know, like why abandon it just because you had one fucked up game from a franchise that doesn't cost you a lot of money to develop and that's beloved by a lot of your fans.
Yeah, I mean, I like it somewhat because it's different. It's like more like 3D, but it's still not as good as like the first two.
Evolve 2 is because Evolve 2 has it has one built into it. Well, it has because technically Evolve 2 is the third game.
Yeah.
And it has the first two games kind of in there, and it's still just fantastic. All right. What else did I play? I played Halo 5. I was playing through some what was it called? Man, what's the PvE mode? I'm blanking on it. I was playing whatever that mode's called. Firefight. That's what it is. Yeah. Man, this shit's still a ton of fucking fun. I love the fact that there's not 20 million weapons that you're trying to get. Like that, it's just like, these are the core weapons to Halo. Pick one up. Fucking battle it out. Like, that's how that game works, and it still works great.
Yeah.
The shooting feels great. The frame rate's awesome. I mean, the graphics, they're showing their age a little bit. It's been, it's been almost, 6 fucking years. Like, can't wait for Infinite. It's getting me pumped. I want to play more Halo. But I was really enjoying Halo 5 last night specifically. I was killing a bunch of motherfuckers. It was great.
Yeah, it's good when you get back in the groove and able to pull off some wins.
I had to remember how to play, to be honest. I won't lie. Like and when I mean how to play, I mean control wise. Like I was sitting there, I was like, what did how was my setup? I haven't played fucking Halo forever. But you get right back into that groove. And then, I've been using paddles for everything lately for my games because of my new controller, and I was going back to the muscle memory of playing Halo 5 without paddles. Like, just instantly, like, oh, nope, that's not how you do that anymore. I need to stop doing that. Oh, shit. But, that learning curve, I was slowly getting used to using paddles for everything in Halo. It's the way to play. It's fucking awesome. It's still my favorite shooter, like, mechanically and map design. Like, I just fucking love Halo.
Yeah,
there's just so much open. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, good.
I was going to just say, there's just so many open world, like, fucking Destiny style shooters now. Like, it's whatever to me. Like, having, like, hey, these are set map points. These are where weapons spawn. This is, it's not super open. Like, Halo just feels really good, really tight. I mean, I'd be shocked if they don't move more towards that for Halo Infinite. I think we'll see a Destiny style version of Halo. I just don't want them fucking it up by saying, now there's 20 million guns in Halo, and you can find the legendary one. It's like, no, I don't want that. That would be fucking terrible. Because that's not, Halo's about tight gun design and getting those mechanics perfect, and not looting for guns, period. And grinding for guns. Like, that would be really weird in a Halo game.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go the Destiny route with Halo. I mean, it's still its own shooter. It's not open worldish yet. I mean, it's kind of a little bit, but it's not quite there yet. And
yeah,
I mean, I can see them do that.
I can
Halo
see them
Destiny
going bigger. Like
right,
pure 64 player PVE, like giant environments, like you going against it. But it's still going to be, hey, this is. Those are the AI versus you, or those are, big team battle could be 32 versus 32. Fine.
Well, they can make they can make an awesome Destiny version if they do like adapt like Spartan Ops. I would just make it like a bigger idea, and like you're fighting in the middle of a Covenant war or something, and they can make a really cool version of that.
I just don't want the loot to be guns, to be honest with you. I just don't think
Yeah.
it works well for Halo.
I mean, you could do armor pieces because that's like a big thing.
Yeah.
Maybe guns, maybe customize your guns, but it probably won't be as like gun heavy as like it's not.
I don't
built
want it
for,
to be
like, really
Borderlands. I don't want it to be
Right.
Destiny. I want it to be Halo. And Halo's about tight gun design and making sure everything's balanced correctly.
Yeah.
Because it's like, my issue is, like, Halo's like a chess game. Like, you have set pieces, you know how those pieces move, and it's about who can play the better game. Destiny is literally a fucking game of just fucking dice. Like, you're just rolling the fucking dice. What, did you have a better gun than I do? Like, it's, fuck, I'm dead now because you fucking rolled the better roll than I did. Like, you don't have to aim and you could hit and you get an insta-kill. Like, fuck that. And yes, I'm oversimplifying this, but it's just, an analogy. Like, I prefer, let's say, the 30 guns in Halo that are tightly customized to kind of be what they are versus just a random shit show of random different variations and weapons and percentages. I just don't feel like people get good at shooters anymore. Now you just have an excuse, like, oh, I just need a better weapon. It's like, no, you need to get good at that weapon. Like, fucking, not that you need a better weapon, you need to know how to master that gun. And I just feel like that's been lost in a lot of ways in modern shooters.
Yeah, arena mode, like arena shooters are. I mean, I know Halo has that arena move. It is an arena shooter, but the multiplayer, so you're definitely more skill based. So yeah, that's definitely missing.
Yeah.
But that's my rant about Halo. That's right. Rants all day, people.
We appreciate your Halo rant, sir. But next time play Halo, invite your boy.
Okay, I will.
No,
I only got a couple rounds in too, because Vern quit out like a bitch. It's like, I'm done with Halo. I was like, man, come on. I can play like another 10 rounds. Like, I'm fucking down to play. All right. Well, any other games we want to hit up before we close out the show this week?
So I've been playing Code Vein. No, the DLC it's coming out because there was an update. Jedi is pretty dope so far. Enjoying it. I was playing Master Chief Collection, first Halo, because I know there's a YouTuber who's playing it for the first time. I forget his name, but it was pretty entertaining. So he's like a PlayStation guy getting into Halo, and he like loves it. So it's so entertaining to watch him. Yeah, playing that. PUBG, The Division 2 and 1. A little bit of Sword Art Online, Fate of Bullet, Anthem, Apex Legends, and I recently bought Sayonara Wild Hearts, which came out in the Xbox store. It's like an on-rail music collection thing. I don't know. It's kind of like a res, like res. So it's a cool game. It's like $12. It's really cheap. But that's pretty much it for me.
All right. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for the show this week, guys. We'll be back next week on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. But until then, we hope everybody stays safe, healthy. Definitely, I know the coronavirus is breaking into the U.S. right now, and we want everybody to be safe out there. Be careful, like going shopping to get supplies and stuff, because I know, people always panic. So, get some hand sanitizer, some gloves, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But until next week, guys, please take it easy. We'll see y'all later. Peace out, everybody.
Later, guys.